Welcome back to FM Story. We're now in the end stage of Season 8. We're currently sat second in the table, although we are 21 points behind Real Madrid, who are top of the table and about to win their 8th title of this save. We are 1 point clear of Betis, who are in 3rd, 3 points clear of Barcelona in 4th, 4 points clear of Atletico in 5th, and 7 points clear of Real Sociedad in 6th. We do have some big games to come before the end of the season, though, because we do have in a row Sociedad, followed by Atletico, followed by Betis. So those are going to be 3 big games in determining where we finish this season. So let's find out what happens. Before we do get started, if you do enjoy the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get going. We are approaching the end of April, and our next game is a pretty big one against Real Betis. So far, April's been a bit of an eventful month. There's certainly been plenty of goals scored. We started with a 3-2 win away at Almeria that we dominated until the last 15 minutes. And then they scored 2 quick goals. And at that point, you're thinking, well, we've done it again. We've thrown it away. We're going to end up with a draw, which at that stage, based on the XG, was probably just about fair. When Unai Ribeiro popped up with a goal 7 minutes from time, his second goal of the game, and we ran out 3-2 victors. Unfortunately, we then went to a home game against Real Sociedad, having lost the away game against Real Sociedad. A pretty even game. And in the end, we gave away 2 goals from 2 headers to Lorenzo Luca in the last 10 minutes of the game. And Borden fans not especially happy with that one. And as we said at the start of the episode, that was the start of a run of games that are really going to decide where we finish this season. So there was the game against Sociedad, then we went away to Atletico Madrid, and then obviously we got the Betis game. Luckily, we were able to get back on form in the game against Atletico Madrid. Again, it was a fairly even game, especially on the XG. We were able to run out 3-2 victors, largely because we got off to a really good start. We were 2-0 up after 7 minutes. 3-1 up at half time. They pulled another goal back just after half time, but in the end we were able to hold on. We did make a couple of changes to the lineup. In that Unai Ribeiro was suspended, so Uregi came back in on the right. Nico Williams played through the middle. Hull and John Guerrero had gone AWOL during the week and didn't turn up for training, so he sat on the bench, and Sunset played in the number 10 role with Zubimendi and Marino in front of the back four. What we have noticed in the last couple of games is Robin Lenormand's performances have really dropped off. The unfortunate thing is we don't really have a left back that can actually play at left back, because Javi Lopez is injured and Unai Ibanez is now suspended. So we're going to have to change things up a bit at the back going into the game against Betis. But obviously this is a big chance for us to really cement where we're going to finish this season. After the game against Betis, we do have a relatively straightforward finish to the season. Games against Mallorca, Osasuna, who've already been relegated, Alaves, Celta and Getafe. So hopefully if we can pick up a performance against Betis, we'll be in good shape for the end of the season. As far as the league table is concerned, we're currently sat 4th. We're level on points with Barcelona. We're 2 points behind Betis and 3 points ahead of Atletico Madrid. So a win against Betis obviously would put us above them, and also would kind of solidify ourselves in that top 4. So going into the game against Betis, it's a strange one, and if you'd told me that we'd be going into such a big game with Nico Williams and Hull and John Guerrero both on the bench, then I think I'd have called you crazy even a month ago in the season. Neither of them have really played well. They're not in the best of morale. So we've gone with Laporte playing in the centre of defence this time rather than playing at left back. We've got Aymar Montero playing at left back. Zubimendi and Merino in front of the back four. Uregi, Sunset and Serrano behind the returning Unai Ribeiro. Obviously, we've got options on the bench if we need to change it. But really, it's an important one for us to go out there and try and get a result here. Right, we're forcing them backwards and sideways. Uregi's nicked it. Merino to Serrano. Oh! Overall, a pretty decent performance. We've created chances without having barely any of the ball. But at some point, we're going to have to take one of these chances. Can we take? Right, Serrano. Sunset. Uregi. Thank God he went for it because Kirikaburu was 5 yards offside. Finally. A lovely ball from Sunset. I mean, Kirikaburu, I don't know what he's doing because he is like a good 5 yards offside. But Uregi smashes it across the keeper into the far corner. Great start. Great stuff. Uregi. Come on, you must score. Oh! I'm not quite sure how that ended up being a goal kick. Right, Uregi's away on the right hand side. Can we get a cross in? Nico Williams straight off the bench to head home. Just exactly what we needed. Lovely ball. Towering header. Gave the keeper no chance at the back post there. Really good victory, that one. Came under a bit more threat in the second half from some of those set pieces. But kept a clean sheet. Pretty comfortable 2-0 victory. And that's probably one of our best performances in the last couple of months, that one. We've made it to the last day of the season. And since that victory against Betis that we saw, things have continued in pretty much the same vein. We haven't actually conceded a goal since then. We've looked a lot more secure. Obviously, prior to that, we'd conceded 2 against Almeria. We'd got beat by Sociedad. We'd conceded 2 against Atletico Madrid. But we've managed, since that Betis game, we've managed to put together a run of form. We have experimented once these games have been in control with a slightly different formation, just as a will it do anything? So first game was away at Mallorca. Really comfortable win, 4-0. I mean, they didn't have a shot on target. Comfortable. Kirikaburu got a hat trick. Unai Ribeiro had picked up one as well. This was a one where in the second half we had changed the formation up to play in the back four, the two in front of the back four. An attacking field is slightly offset to the left, and then a front three. And it didn't leave us exposed at the back. We didn't concede a lot of chances, so it's potentially a one if we're looking for a goal to get 3 players up the top. It just means we don't have the width at the top end of the pitch, and the width's going to have to come even more from the fullbacks than it already does. We then were at home against Osasuna, who had already been relegated. It took a bit of getting into the game before we could sort of stamp our authority on the game, and it was another comfortable win. 4-0. They had one shot in the whole game, but it did take until the 40th minute for us to pick up a goal. Julian John Guerrero was outstanding. Even towards the end of the game, he did drop back into a deeper role as well, and we did experiment with that. 3 up front again in the second half of that game. We then went away to Alaves and another 4-0 victory. They had slightly more chances than we'd given up in the previous games, but we were never really under any real threat. And Unai Ribeiro picked up 2 late goals just to really secure the victory there. And then in our last home game of the season, we played Celta Vigo at home and won 3-0. We didn't look like we were going to concede, but it really did take us until it took us until injury time to really make certain of the victory. One of the things that we have done as well with the change in formation is we brought Ander Benito in from Bilbao Athletic, where he'd scored a load of goals, and given him a shot. And he repaid us with picking up his first goal for the senior side, deep in injury time there. Also, what we have done is we're giving Padilla a running goal, just because Kepa's morale's been low, and it's worth a shot just to see if we can see how good he is. Give him a chance, basically, when there's not an awful lot riding on things at this moment in time. And the reason there's not an awful lot riding on things at this time is we've already qualified for the Champions League. We're currently sat third. We're level on points with Barcelona, and the 2 games against each other this season, we've won 1, lost 1 with the same goal difference. So it is now down to the goal difference in all the games. And they've got a 5-goal better goal difference, largely because they've not lost as many games as us. They've drawn quite a few more there. But Barcelona do go into the last day of the season away at Atletico, who are trying to get into the Champions League. So there is a chance that we can still sneak into second for what would be the highest finish that we've had in the save so far. Obviously, Real Madrid won the title ages ago, and are more than likely to end up with over 100 points again. Going into the game against Getafe on the last day of the season, we're keeping faith with Padilla in goal. The only change we made to the last game is that Mikel Merino picked up a bit of a knock in that last game, so not fit enough to start. He's going to sit on the bench. We're dropping Julian John Guerrero back into the deep lying playmaker role, and we're playing Nico Serrano behind the front man, and hopefully we can create some chances that way. Force them back to the keeper. Right. Can we get back there? Javi Lopez nicked it, but Nico Williams gives it away. Nico Williams is not having the best of games. A couple of times he's given the ball away relatively stupidly. Right, so basically we're losing this game because Nico Williams gave the ball away needlessly in the left back position. They've done absolutely nothing going forward since that goal, and we need to take some chances. Barcelona are getting beat though as well, so if we get back on level terms, that would be us in second. Right, so we decided to change the formation up to go with that 3 up front in the second half. We'll give the players that didn't perform in the first half 15 minutes or so just to see if the formation can do anything. And the answer is no. Right, Kurika Baru driving forward. Got no one really supporting him though. Picks up Julian. What a goal! breaking from their throw in. Krikabaru takes it right up, cuts back, waits for the support, picks out Julian John Guerrero on the volley. What a goal that is. Now, an equaliser, and we're going to finish second. Right, Ibanez back to Padilla. Laporte. Long ball to Krikaburu. Montero. Oh, we brought the centre half on, stuck him up front. And it's paid dividends. That was not exactly the way I was expecting that goal to come about, but do you know what? We'll take it. Oh, we're not going to concede here, surely. No. That's fine. Send him off, ref. Get your head on it. Right, and blow your whistle, ref. Come on. Kick him. Now, did Atletico hold on to win? They did. That is our highest league finish so far in the save. I mean, how we found ourselves 2-0 down, I don't know. And really how that gamble worked. And you've got a centre half on up front who raced clear into space and smashed the ball in the bottom corner to rescue the draw and to allow us to finish second. Brilliant stuff. Time for the end of season review. John Krikaburu came in the summer to provide a bit of depth and a backup to Unai Ribeiro, and in 13 starts, 33 appearances in total, he scored 15 goals, 2 assists. He was particularly good early on in the season, and then the goals dried up a bit in the middle of the season, but we didn't perform that well in the middle of the season. Ander Guevara came in from Real Sociedad really just to be a backup defensive midfielder at a time when we were looking as though we were going to sell Danny Vivian. Obviously things didn't really work out with that deal. He's not really played the number of games, but it was only 1.9 million, so it's not a particularly big outlay there. And then in January we brought in Mikel Merino on deadline day. It's taken him a while to get into the swing of things, but the last month or so his performances have been top class, and well worth the outlay just to get someone in alongside Sunset in that defensive midfield role. So the board's aim for the season was to qualify for the Champions League, and somehow we managed to sneak into second in the league. We were actually second in the league for a large chunk of the season early on, and then November hit and we lost to Atletico Madrid, we lost to Real Sociedad, we lost to Real Betis, all teams that were around us at the time in the hunt for the Champions League places, and we kind of tailed off a bit, and then we picked up again. And then come February, we had a bit of a horrific month. We lost to Rayo Vallecano. We were 3-1 up against Real Madrid and lost 4-3. We lost against Barcelona. And then after the Barcelona game, we were able to kind of put a decent run of form together. We only lost one game after that in the last couple of months of the season, and that was unfortunately to Real Sociedad. But particularly good run of form after the Atletico Madrid game, where we went sort of 5-6 games without conceding, and then the last day of the season we just about snuck that second position. I mean, they expected us to qualify for the Champions League. We did that comfortably. So C plus seems a bit on the low side. Champions League, we were expected to be competitive in the Champions League. We reached the round of 16. We started off horrendously with those games against Inter Milan and Liverpool, and then picked it up, losing only one more of the league phase games against PSG. We were fairly comfortable in the playoff round against Bordeaux. And the Man City game, we had chances that should have made that game a hell of a lot closer than it was. The first game, we dominated XG and somehow lost 2-1. And then we didn't perform really in the second leg. And then the Copa del Rey was pretty much a disaster. And we went out in the first round for the second season in a row. This time we went out in normal time rather than after penalties like we did last season. Obviously, that's something we're going to need to improve upon. And that's the end of this episode. Join us next time to see how we get on in Season 9. Can we even potentially put a challenge in with Real Madrid for the title? They've won the title every season so far, and they won the title so comfortably this season, it's probably unlikely. But can we at least consolidate and finish above Barcelona again? And see who we manage to pick up in the transfer window. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.